Hey guys, this is Scott Gailor from the Tone Junkie Chronicles. I'm here today to talk to you about the Waza head. It's actually just called the Waza head, but the Waza has been the new flagship line from Boss, including overdrive pedals, delays, heads, all sorts of stuff, really nice cabs, custom speakers. So the Waza is the flagship, the pinnacle, the top of the line for the Boss products. And this is the head. Now, it came out in 2016, so I'm sure you've already seen things, heard things, maybe even formed an opinion. But I asked you to come into this with an open mind because we're going to try to do some different things today. It's not just a metal amp. Okay, let's clear that up right away. And it's also just not a solid state amp. I know there's a lot of that talk about it. Oh, it's just another solid state amp. I'd never pay $2,500 for a solid state amp. Well, okay, I'm not totally disagreeing with that at all, but there's a lot more to it than just that. So let's talk about some of the cool features right out of the gate. You get two effects loops, A and B, which I'm going to show you later on in a different video how to use them to your advantage. So, and you get to choose whether it's a series loop or a parallel loop. Awesome. Okay, you got 4 programmable channels. The head is MIDI. You have 2 tone capsules available at any given time. It comes with a Brown Sound capsule. This one currently has the Steve Vai also installed. I was the guy demonstrating the head at NAMM for Boss in 2017 out at Winter NAMM, so we rolled this out and got the thumbs up from Mr. Vai himself, so that was really cool. And you get to run it either as an internal, so no tone capsules at all, just the sounds of the head. I can flip it to A. This capsule is going to light up brighter, and that's going to be my Brown Sound capsule, the way I have my head set up. And you can click it to B, and you can see the Vai capsule light up. So very cool, very easy to do. I'm also recording this with using the recording out. So if you notice, I only have one mic on the cab today. I have an SM57 slightly off-axis standard miking technique. I'm also coming out of the back using the recording line out air feel. So it's a recording out to my DAW. I'm running Pro Tools 12.7, I think, and it's ready to go. So I'm going to blend those two sounds throughout the video, or I may even pinpoint and say, hey, this one's just the recorded out, or this is just the 57. You've got a cabinet resonance, so you've got a vintage feel, a modern feel, or a deep feel. Now for me personally, the modern has been my favorite based on the voicing of the speaker. One of the things I really noticed with this amp, it came more alive once I paired it with the cab. Now you can use it with any cab. I went around to 21 guitar centers back in October for Boss, taking this and the Katana head, and I played it through everything from an Orange, a Marshall, a Vox, a Bogner, Boogie cabs, crate cabs, anything, Line 6 cabs, and it sounded good through everything. Everything had its own distinct voice, but this seems, they really did their homework matching the two together. It's basically your classic old school British 30-watt speaker, but amped up to 80 watts so it can handle the power and not take the stress. So you get that nice 30-watt creamy tone, that vintage kind of push, but you keep the power so you don't blow it out. That was one of the reasons why using my boogies for as long as I did, I was running G65s or G75s so that I wouldn't smoke greenbacks. So kind of a cool thing there. Last but not least, you can scale it down from 1 watt to 50 watts to 100 watts to 150 watts. So very cool. I never play more than 50 watts. Matter of fact, anybody who saw the NAMM stuff, I actually played at 1 watt at NAMM and just really opened it up. Why? Because this is a Class AB power section. Unlike most digital amps, any amps that are zeros and ones, or modeling amps, or solid state amps, or any of that terminology you want to use, they 99% of the time have a Class D amplifier. This is a Class AB, just like you would find in a tube amplifier. So you get that push-pull. It does react with volume. And although you maintain great tone across volumes, you will see differences in tone, which is really nice the louder you get. For today, demos purposes, I will be running everything at 50 watts pretty much across the board. And I'm just going to be switching through the tone capsules and through the tones. Matter of fact, I'm going to put that back on the internal for right now. Another great thing, rack mountable. These 4 screws come out, goes in a rack if you want to fly with it, or if you just want to make stuff easier. I'm building out a big ES8 switching system board. I'm just waiting on cables, and so I'm going to do a whole video on that. But I'll be able to have all sorts of MIDI programming, all the tones that I want to have anywhere I go, and I'm solid. I don't have to worry about it. And I'm also going to do a video, again, I talked about a few minutes ago, using both effects loop. Right now there's nothing in the loop, there's no pedals out front, it's just guitar, amp, Guitar I'm using is a 2005 Fender Mexi Sam Ash limited edition Tele with a Seymour Duncan hot rail, Tex-Mex, and some sort of fancy wiring harness. I don't remember who I got that from, but pretty cool. And locking tuners. Von York 10 gauge strings tuned down. Actually, I'm tuned standard today. So that'll be it. So that's going to be enough talking for me for right now. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go through each channel and play and change what we're going to do. Okay, so first thing I'm going to start with is channel 1, the clean channel. I'm using the internal setting. Pretty flat across the board, nothing crazy. Bass is around 7 or 8. Mid is around 4 or 5. Treble is around 5 or 6. Present is about 3. And reverb's at about 2.5. I'm not really going to use a ton of reverb on this. So this is in position 4 of my Tele. And in this case, I'm using the modern setting. I'm going to go to vintage for this for right now. Pretty cool. I want to try deep. I think deep is probably where I'm going to want to be on this particular setting. Yeah, switching. I'm in position 2 now, and with the deep, I really like that. So that's pretty cool. Let's switch over to A. So I don't need to put this on standby. I don't need to do anything. I'm just going to switch. That's going to glow nice and bright. I'm going to start on the vintage setting. That was in position 2. I'm going to go up position 4. Again, very cool, snappy. Alright, kind of dig it. Alright, so now let's take this and we're going to go to the modern setting. Dig it. Probably would like that better in the 5th position. Or, I'm sorry, 2nd position. So pretty cool. Last but not least is deep. I'm going to stay in the 2nd position. Going to give it the 4th position just for fun. Also, too, both my knobs are on 10. I'm not rolling anything back or cutting anything back. Alright, so that was the Brown Sound module. Let's go to the Steve Vai Legacy Tone Capsule. So this is more of an American sound and modern 6L6 style amp with some variations on Steve's personal original #1 Legacy from his Legacy 1. Just throw that in there. So that's position 2 with the deep setting, and wow, really like that one out of the gate. Okay, so I'm going to take this now and go to the modern setting on the cap. Switched it up to the 4 spot, liked it better in the 4 spot. Pretty cool. Alright, let's do the vintage. So vintage, I'm going to stay up here in 4. And I'm going to drop this back to 2, want it a little brighter. Cool, definitely this one's got a little more spunk to it. Definitely does some cool stuff. So that is all 4 tones all 4 cab sims in clean. I am now going to go to channel 2. Alright guys, so this is channel 2, or the crunch channel. I'm thinking in terms of clean being 1, crunch being 2, lead 1 being 3, lead 2 being 4, because it's just still my carryover from my big old MIDI pedal boards. So first channel we did was clean, now we're in the crunch channel. I am running the same EQ, because you share an EQ for your clean and crunch and your lead 1 and lead 2. So you have 2 separate EQs, but only for 2 channels. So shared EQ for 2 of the 2 presets. Say that 3 times fast. Okay, and you have 2 separate reverbs though, but I actually have my reverb set about the same on this. And my master, which I didn't say earlier, is at about 3.5. And so this is a crunch channel. I'm kind of running it if you think of a plexi setting. So I'm going to go back to the internal. I'm going to go in the vintage setting. Think it kind of dirty, a little raunchy. Not too bad at all. Let's go to the modern setting. Got a little more bite to it, a little brighter, kind of cool. And last is your deep. Almost borderline metal. You could throw a pedal in front of it and kind of chunk that up if you wanted to. Same concept. I'm going to go back to vintage. Now we're going to go to capsule A, which is the brown sound, which we all know and love. And again, nothing, I'm not changing any settings at that. So let's see what we got. So this is the vintage with that. Definitely reminds me of an old plexi I had for sure. It's got that sag. I don't know, kind of cool. Dig that as well. Now let's move that to modern. Very cool. Again, you know, this is that plexi thing, so I would probably throw a pedal in front of a lot of this just to have a little more huevos on it, you know, just put a little more weight on it, but still cool, dig it, and it would be great for that kind of, you're playing in a cover band or you're doing a set and you need something a little less kind of in your face. That is a way to go with that. Last but not least is deep. That's nice and throaty. I definitely like it on the deep setting for sure. That's cool. Alright, so going to roll it back to vintage. Now we're going to go to the Steve Vai Legacy capsule, which is the new one, which we just installed. Okay, so same thing. We're starting with vintage. Cool, kind of throaty, definitely that kind of thing. So, I mean, I could think of a couple different tunes. I won't name any at the moment, but yeah, there's some cool things there. Let's go to modern. So, modern sound. not least, deep. Again, deep setting is kind of takes a little scoop out of the mids pretty much across the board, but still cool. So far, my favorite setting on all of them has been modern. I'm definitely digging the modern cab setting. Also, I'm running a 212, not a 412. I'm running at 8 ohms, something I forgot to mention earlier. I prefer 8 ohms over 16 or 4. It just gives me the most versatility with the tones. Since I play so many different styles of gigs, I need to have a consistent home bass, so this is going to be the new home bass. So now, let's go into what I call channel 3, or we call lead 1, and we're going to go all the way back to the internal. So we are in the internal sound, going to go to lead 1, and I've got my gain at about 6, master of the channel on at about 2, EQ is about the same, to tell you the truth, with a tiny bit more presence, and reverb is the same. So all right, and that was on the deep setting. So now we're going to go back to the modern setting. Cool. And we're going to go to the vintage setting. Cool. That's all just the internal sounds. That's not even any of the tone capsules. So far so good. I'm so kind of thinking you're thinking, how many times am I going to say cool during this? I don't know. I'm going to try to not do it again, but we'll see. Okay, going to go to A, which is the brown sound. We've talked about this throughout the video, so we know what this is. I'm not going to say it. All right, and now we're going to go to modern. Very cool. I did it. That's too bad. I tried. All right, and last but not least, we're going to go to vintage. I'm sorry, I've been going the other way. We're going to go to deep. Alright, so far so good. Definitely digging on the tones. I'm going to switch this back to vintage now. I'm going to go to B. So what is B? The Steve Vai Legacy Tone Capsule, of course. And let's go to the modern. Now there you go. I've had a lot of people ask me about, can it do a Metallica-ish or a metal-ish, heavy sound. That certainly can, and this is, just a Telecaster with this and no pedals, and it's got that. Very cool. Kind of digging it. Alright, last but not least is lead channel 2, or what I call channel 4. Same thing, we're going to start with the internal sounds, going to the vintage, and moving our way out. This one, the gain is at about 8, so there's a little more gain. This is probably the highest gain setting I have on here right now. Alright, let's go to modern. Definitely dig that. Let's go to deep. So far so good. Now we're going to switch to the brown sound. A. Going to go back to vintage. Let's go to modern. And last but not least, we will go to deep. Alright, cool. Don't care, did it on that one. Alright, now we're going to go to the Steve Vai Legacy Tone Capsule and start at vintage. Alright, let's go to modern. Now, to me, that is definitely a Steve Vai rhythm tone, because you get the clarity of all the notes in the... definitely dig that. And last but not least, we are going to go to the deep setting. Well, I really dig it. This is the Waza Craft, and well, the Waza head. Waza Craft is the flagship of Boss. So it comes with a foot switch, comes with a cable, comes with your speaker cable, comes with a manual that pretty much tells you everything I just went through. On the back, though, and we're going to get more into this as we do more videos on this amp, you have two effects loop, loop A and loop B. You can run it at series or parallel. Now, you only get to choose series or parallel for both loops, but you do get a choice on it, so that's cool. You can run out this to two cabs. You can run it to the 112 or the 212 like I'm doing now. These fit like a glove the way it's set up. There's another video that I did showing you how to install these tone capsules, and you can tell again as you turn them off, it gets a light blue, brights up depending on which one you're using mainly. Simple to use. If you already have a MIDI pedal, then you can control this head. If you have MIDI effects, I use multiple brands of effects. I don't just use Boss. So the great thing about this is when I'm using my ES8 to control pedals from other manufacturers and I'm controlling MIDI data, I have everything. So I can hit a button, no tap dancing, and I'm done. So pretty cool. And again, more of these videos coming up shortly. So this is Scott Gailor. I'm signing off for the Tone Junkie Chronicles. Go to bossus.com for more information about the Boss Waza head. You can go to tonejunkiechronicles.com for more videos from me. Please hit like, subscribe, tell a few friends, tell a few enemies, tell everybody. The more the merrier. And last but not least, scottgailor.com if you're interested in buying CDs or picks or anything like that. And huge shout out to everybody at Boss for the great treatment at NAMM 2017. I will see you guys soon. Peace.